All right, let's dive right into today's explainer. We're going to unpack a seriously crucial concept together: short-term financial health. Whether you're a CPA candidate prepping for exam day, or really just someone trying to understand how businesses survive their day-to-day operations, you absolutely need to know how to measure liquidity. Today, we're breaking down net working capital, the current ratio, and the quick ratio, using a really clear concept-to-application framework. Here's our agenda. We've got 6 parts today. 1. The definition of liquidity. 2. Net working capital. 3. The current ratio. 4. The quick or acid test ratio. 5. A real-world scenario with Amy's market. And finally, 6. A CPA exam survival guide. Section 1. The definition of liquidity. The corporate lifeline. So what actually is liquidity? At its core, it's an entity's ability to pay current debts as they come due and remain in business in the short run. Basically, short-term survival depends entirely on the ease with which a company can convert its current assets into cash. Think about it. If you owe a supplier $50,000 next week, having a $5 million factory doesn't help you make that payment. You need cash or assets that will become cash super quickly. That's liquidity. And this illustrates perfectly why different stakeholders care so deeply about this. For you CPA candidates out there, mastering these core exam concepts is absolute table stakes. For lenders, they just want to gauge the risk of default. Are they getting their money back? Analysts are looking to assess overall short-term financial health. And management, they have to ensure efficiency and avoid having idle assets just sitting around collecting dust. Moving on to Section 2, net working capital, the baseline measure. This is the bluntest instrument in our toolkit. Picture a seesaw. On one side, you've got your resources, your current assets. On the other side, weighing it down, is your capital structure, specifically your current liabilities. Net working capital is simply the balance between these two. It represents the baseline resources a firm absolutely must have to keep operating in the short run. The formula is as straightforward as it gets. Net working capital equals current assets minus current liabilities. You literally just subtract what you owe in the short term from what you own in the short term. It gives you the absolute dollar amount needed to keep the lights on. But there's a catch here. Knowing you have, say, $100,000 in net working capital doesn't mean much unless you know the size of the company. $100,000 is amazing for a local coffee shop, but it's a massive red flag for a multinational retailer. Which brings us to Section 3, the current ratio, the most common measure. To fix that limitation of absolute dollars, we use the current ratio formula. Current assets divided by current liabilities. By dividing instead of subtracting, we get a relative proportion. Your numerator is everything you own that'll turn into cash within a year, and your denominator is everything you owe within that same year. Suddenly, comparing companies of totally different sizes is a breeze. Now, what's a good number? While it definitely varies by industry, a 2-to-1 ratio is generally considered desirable. That means you have twice as many assets as liabilities. But hold on a second, don't fall into the trap of thinking higher is always better. An overly high current ratio could actually mean management is slacking. They might be letting idle assets like excess cash or unsold inventory just sit around instead of putting them to work to grow the business. Section 4, the quick or acid test ratio, the sharpest instrument. Let's refine this even further. Compare your current assets to your quick assets. Here's a great memory tip for your exams. Only include the assets that are literally quick to convert to cash. That means you absolutely must exclude inventory and prepaid items from your numerator. Why? Because if the economy tanks, selling off a warehouse full of specialized inventory quickly at its full value is pretty much impossible. So our formula gets a lot stricter. The quick ratio equals cash plus marketable securities plus accounts receivable, all divided by current liabilities. Notice we've completely stripped out inventory and prepaids. Because it avoids the headache of inventory valuation entirely, the quick ratio is a much more conservative and frankly realistic measure of your true short-term financial health. What are we aiming for here? Generally, a 1-to-1 ratio is the benchmark of a healthy business. It means that even if sales ground to a complete halt tomorrow and you couldn't sell a single piece of inventory, you still have exactly enough highly liquid assets to pay off every single short-term debt you owe. Section 5. Scenario, Amy's market. Year 5 versus Year 6. All right, let's put this into practice. Looking at Year 5 versus Year 6, what improved or worsened at Amy's market? Take a look at the data and ask yourself, is this company's short-term survival looking better or worse? Let's analyze it. Net working capital jumped from roughly $263,000 to over $283,000. That's a solid absolute increase. But look at the proportions. The current ratio went from 3.18 to 3.74. And crucially, that highly conservative quick ratio ticked up from 1.84 to 1.97. Notice the trend? Across the board, Amy's market significantly improved its proportional coverage and increased its highly liquid assets. They are sitting in a very comfortable position. Finally, Section 6, the CPA Exam Survival Guide, Avoiding Common Traps. Listen closely to this success tip, because just memorizing the formulas isn't going to cut it. The examiners absolutely love to trick you on these questions. Here are the most common exam traps to watch out for. First, forgetting to exclude inventory and prepaids from the quick ratio. They will always toss inventory numbers at you just to see if you take the bait. Don't do it. Second, assuming a higher current ratio is always better. Remember, a massive current ratio could actually be a huge red flag for lazy asset management and ignoring the opportunity cost of unproductive idle assets. And finally, confusing absolute numbers, like working capital, with relative proportions, like your ratios. I'm going to leave you with this final thought. If you're analyzing a company and their current ratio looks incredibly strong, but their quick ratio is alarmingly low, what risky asset is hiding in their warehouse? Think about that divergence. It usually tells you they're sitting on a massive mountain of inventory they can't sell. Keep that in mind as you continue exploring financial analysis, and you'll be spotting those red flags in no time.